Imagine a world where tiny insects run farms, where soldiers guard livestock, where empires rise not on land or gold, but on sugar. A world where ants are not just hunters or builders, but farmers, and ruthless ones. Welcome to the Aphid Empire, a civilization powered by honeydew, defended by armies, and constantly under attack by predators who want the same precious resource. This is the story of ants harvesting aphids, protecting them like cattle, and waging war against the ladybugs who threaten their livestock. Let's start with something shocking. Ants don't just collect food. They grow it, they manage it, they farm it. Aphids are their livestock. Tiny insects that produce honeydew, a sweet liquid ants crave. But here's the twist. Aphids don't produce honeydew on purpose. They produce it as waste. And ants drink it. So what do ants do? They care for aphids the same way humans care for cows. Picture this. An aphid sitting on a leaf, feeding on plant juices. Suddenly, an ant walks up and taps the aphid gently with its antennae. The aphid releases a drop of honeydew, and the ant drinks it like it's the finest nectar. This is farming. This is harvesting. This is an economy. But where there is food, there is danger. And the biggest threat to the Aphid Empire comes in a small spotted package, the ladybug. The ladybug may look cute, but to aphids, it's a monster. A hungry, relentless, unstoppable predator. One ladybug can devour dozens of aphids in a single day. And if the ants didn't intervene, a ladybug could wipe out their entire herd. That's why ants have turned farming into warfare. Here's how it starts. A scout ant senses danger. Maybe she smells a ladybug's chemical trail. Maybe she sees the signature red and black wings. She returns to the colony and sounds the alarm, a pheromone message that spreads through the workers like wildfire. Seconds later, soldiers pour onto the plant like reinforcements rushing to defend a village. They swarm the stems, surround the aphids, and prepare to fight. Then the ladybug lands. This is where nature gets brutal. The ants charge. They grab the ladybug's legs. They bite, they sting, they release chemicals that feel like burning. The ladybug tries to fight back, but she's outnumbered. 10, 20, 30 ants climbing all over her. Sometimes she escapes. Sometimes she dies. Sometimes she falls to the ground and is carried away. But the aphids? They survive shielded by an army. And if you think protecting them is extreme, wait until you hear this. Ants move aphids the way humans move livestock. If one plant dries up, ants carry aphids to a new plant. If rain threatens, ants shelter them in underground chambers until the storm passes. If predators gather, ants build living walls around the herd. They even protect aphid eggs, raising new generations of livestock. This goes beyond farming. This is civilization. But it's not always peaceful. Some ant species fight other ant colonies for control over aphid herds. Entire territories exist purely because a valuable patch of plants, rich with aphids, needs guarding. When two ant colonies collide, the battlefield becomes a leaf, a stem, a single branch. Soldiers attack, bodies fall, chemical scents fill the air, and whoever wins gains the right to farm the aphids. In some cases, ants even raid rival farms and steal aphids from other colonies, carrying them home like cattle thieves. This is not survival, this is empire building. And yet, there is one more twist in this story, an unexpected rebellion. Some aphids have evolved to depend on ants completely. They no longer run when ants approach. They no longer defend themselves, they've become domesticated, but others? They try to escape. Some aphids grow wings and attempt to fly away. When that happens, ants chase them down. They will bite off the aphid's wings to keep them grounded. It sounds cruel, but to the ants, it's just protecting the livestock that sustains their colony. This relationship is complicated, messy, and strangely familiar. Because when you zoom out, the Aphid Empire looks a lot like our own history. A resource, a workforce, a civilization built on agriculture, wars over land, defense against predators, trade, raids, power, all happening silently, on a leaf, in a garden, on a sidewalk crack. Right now, somewhere in your backyard, an ant colony is tending its flock. A ladybug is stalking the shadows, waiting for an opening. Aphids are feeding, unaware of the war being fought around them. And ants are marching, not to forage, but to defend what they've built. Because in the world of ants, farming is survival. Honeydew is wealth, aphids are livestock. And predators are enemies of the empire. Ants didn't just build a colony, they built an economy. And every day they fight to protect it. That's the Aphid Empire. Vulnerable, powerful, and constantly at war.